Here's the brutal truth about prospects tournaments. Most players who shine brightest often fade fastest when the real games begin. But after watching the Devils wrap up their 2025 Prospects Challenge run at Buffalo's Lachance Harbor Center this past Sunday, I'm convinced we witnessed something different. Something that might actually translate to NHL success. New Jersey closed out their tournament with a respectable 2-1-0 record, capping off their weekend with an 8-2 demolition of Columbus on Thursday, a gritty 4-2 victory over Buffalo on Friday, and a high-scoring 6-4 setback against Boston on Sunday. But here's where it gets interesting. The individual performances told a story that goes way deeper than those final scores. Shane Lachance, the tower who actually has skill. Let's address the elephant in the room first. Everyone expects the 6'5", 218-pound defenseman to be just another big body who throws hits and clears the crease. But Shane Lachance absolutely shattered that stereotype during this tournament, and honestly, it's about time we stopped pigeonholing players based on their size alone. Lachance didn't just contribute, he dominated with 2 legitimate goals, though he should have had 3. But we'll get to that controversy in a moment. Plus an assist across his 2-game showcase. What made his performance special wasn't just the offensive numbers, though. He demonstrated the complete package, delivering crushing hits when needed, dropping gloves to protect a teammate, and displaying the kind of hockey IQ that separates future NHLers from career minor leaguers. His goal against Columbus was pure artistry disguised as power hockey. Picture this, the puck caroms off the backboards behind the net, and while most players would either panic or make the safe play, Lachance positioned himself perfectly at the goal line. He snatched the bouncing puck, calmly dragged it back to just above the goal line, and then, from what seemed like an impossible angle, somehow managed to bank a shot off the far post and into the net. That's not luck. That's elite spatial awareness combined with nerves of steel. But here's where it gets controversial. Lachance had another goal completely stolen from him in that same game, when referees called goaltender interference. Even the officials admitted after the game that they botched the call and the goal should have counted. This raises a critical question. Are young prospects being held to different, harsher standards than established players? It's something worth debating, especially when these tournaments can make or break development trajectories. His second goal against Buffalo showcased entirely different skills, the kind of hand-eye coordination that can't be taught. After some crisp tic-tac-toe passing created a slot opportunity, the rebound popped into the air, and Lachance swatted it baseball style into the net for a power play marker. In the same contest, he delivered a picture-perfect pass from the corner to set up Hameenaho's goal, all while absorbing a punishing hit in the process. With NHL training camp opening Wednesday, Lachance has positioned himself as a legitimate roster candidate. But this is the part most people miss. His tournament performance might actually hurt him if coaches decide he's too good for junior development and rush him into a role he's not quite ready for. Hameenaho, the Finnish phenom everyone's talking about. The buzz surrounding 20-year-old Hameenaho within the Devils organization and fan base has reached fever pitch, and frankly, it's completely justified. After leading Assat with 20 goals and 51 points in 58 Liga games last season, the team's 2023 second-round selection, 58th overall, finally got his first opportunity to don the Devils uniform, and he didn't just meet expectations, he exceeded them. What immediately strikes you about Hameenaho isn't his skill set, though that's impressive. It's his physical transformation. This isn't the same lanky teenager who was drafted 2 years ago. He's packed on serious muscle and now commands attention at 6'1", 185 pounds of solid hockey player. Here's what separates him from other skilled prospects. He doesn't rely on thunderous hits to impose his will. Instead, he uses his newfound strength intelligently, maintaining puck possession, brushing off defenders, and creating space through pure power. His goal against Buffalo perfectly illustrated this evolved approach. With the puck at the Sabres' blue line, Buffalo's David Bedkowski, 6'5", 221 pounds, had him lined up for what should have been a game-changing hit. But here's where Hameenaho showed maturation beyond his years. He recognized the incoming collision, smartly chipped the puck into the corner, and then braced for impact. Bedkowski delivered the punishment, but Hameenaho absorbed it, stayed vertical, and actually used the hit to his advantage by brushing off the much larger defender. With Bedkowski now out of position, Hameenaho had a clear path to the net, where Lachance found him with a perfect feed that he buried glove side with a quick snapshot. This raises an interesting debate. Should skilled prospects like Hameenaho jump straight to the NHL, or would a season in Utica help him adapt to the North American style of play? There's no wrong answer, but it's a decision that could define his entire career trajectory. What's certain is that he'll get every opportunity to prove he belongs at the highest level right now. Matthias Malofsky, the smooth operator flying under the radar. While everyone focuses on the big names and dramatic storylines, Matthias Malofsky quietly put together the kind of tournament that makes scouts reach for their phones. His final stat line, 2 goals and 3 points across 3 games, tells only part of the story. The real narrative lies in how he elevated his line mates and controlled play as the center on the team's top unit alongside Hameenaho and Lachance, with Tag Bertuzzi joining for the final game. Malofsky possesses that rare combination of smooth skating mechanics and explosive acceleration that allows him to reach top speed deceptively quickly. But it's his hands and hockey intelligence that separate him from other prospects with similar physical tools. Both of his goals showcase different aspects of this skill set in ways that should have NHL scouts taking notice. Against Boston, he demonstrated elite zone entry skills by splitting 2 Bruins forwards at the blue line, a move that requires perfect timing and confidence. Once in the zone, he deployed an inside-outside move on the defender that created just enough space to uncork a shot from the face-off dot that found the top corner. That's textbook offensive execution under pressure. His second goal revealed a completely different dimension: net front awareness and opportunism. After locating a loose puck in the blue paint, which itself requires exceptional positioning, he used his body to shield the puck while corralling it, then lifted it over the prone goaltender with surgical precision. These aren't lucky bounces. They're the result of being in the right place with the right mindset. Perhaps most importantly, Malofsky's impact extended beyond the scoresheet. He was on the ice for several additional Devils goals, where his playmaking and positioning directly contributed to the scoring chances, even without official credit. That's the kind of subtle influence that translates to success at higher levels. Nathan Lachance, the unsigned sensation who stole the show. Here's where the Prospects Challenge gets really interesting and potentially controversial. Nathan Lachance entered this tournament as an unsigned invitee, essentially playing for his hockey future with every shift. No contract, no guarantees, just raw opportunity and the pressure that comes with it. And here's the kicker. He absolutely dominated the ice, becoming the Devils' most productive offensive player throughout the weekend. Lacampe's final numbers, 4 goals and 5 points, including a spectacular 3-point performance, 2 goals, 1 assist, in the opening game, should guarantee him a contract somewhere in the NHL. The question isn't whether he'll get signed. It's which team will be smart enough to recognize what they just witnessed. At just 18 years old, Lachance displayed the holy trinity of prospect attributes: elite speed, exceptional hands, and unlimited potential. But this raises a fascinating debate about the current development system. Why was a player of this caliber unsigned in the first place? Are teams missing obvious talent because they're too focused on draft pedigree and established prospects? The kid didn't just score goals. He created them out of nothing, using his speed to create separation and his skill to finish plays that other prospects couldn't even attempt. This kind of breakout performance often leads to unrealistic expectations, though. The real test will be whether Lachance can maintain this level of play when facing NHL-caliber competition on a nightly basis. Notable performances that deserve recognition. Goaltender Jacob Malik got his first taste of North American hockey against the host Buffalo Sabres, and the experience was exactly what you'd hope for in a prospects tournament. Despite facing a more talented Sabres roster, Malik delivered a masterful 26-save performance that secured the upset victory. What impressed most wasn't the spectacular saves, though there were several, but his reliance on technique and positioning to make difficult stops look routine. He battled through screens, survived net front scrums, and demonstrated the kind of composure that can't be coached. Mikhail Diot's story might be the most compelling of the entire tournament. After not playing competitive hockey since November of last year due to injuries, he returned to action with a vengeance, recording 2 goals and an assist in his first game back against Columbus. His willingness to shoot the puck in any situation stood out immediately, a mindset that resulted in 2 goals that caught goaltenders off guard. The question now becomes, can he stay healthy enough to build on this promising return? Tag Bertuzzi exemplified the kind of quiet effectiveness that wins championships. Despite starting the tournament on the 4th line, his 3 assists in the opening game earned him a promotion to the top unit for the final contest, where he promptly added 2 more helpers. That's 5 assists across 3 games for a player who simply understands how to make his teammates better. Seamus Casey made just 1 appearance during the Prospects Challenge, but it was enough to remind everyone why he's considered such a valuable prospect. He completely controlled the game when on the ice, scoring a highlight reel goal with a nasty juke move that created space out of nothing. Casey's presence served dual purposes, providing leadership for younger prospects while demonstrating that strong performances in Buffalo can lead directly to NHL opportunities, as he proved last year. His limited action was strategic. Get the necessary work in while avoiding injury before NHL training camp. The bigger picture, what this really means. Here's the controversial take that most hockey analysts won't discuss. Prospects tournaments like this one often create more confusion than clarity for NHL decision-makers. Players who dominate against other prospects sometimes struggle against seasoned professionals, while others who look ordinary in these settings flourish when surrounded by better talent. So, what should we actually take from these performances? I'd argue that the Devils' prospects showcased exactly what you want to see: adaptability, competitiveness, and the ability to perform under pressure. Whether that translates to immediate NHL success remains to be seen, but the foundation is clearly there. The real question is this: in an era where player development is more sophisticated than ever, are we putting too much pressure on young players to succeed immediately, or not enough pressure to push them toward their potential? What do you think? Should prospects like Hameenaho and Lachance jump straight to the NHL, or would they benefit from seasoning in the AHL? And how much weight should organizations put on tournaments like this when making roster decisions? The debate is far from settled, and frankly, that's exactly what makes following prospects' development so fascinating.